I have dated a handful. Yeah, I would say a handful of guys since that point in time. And it's just hard. I mean, you'll get a guy that's almost 28, 29, and you're like, okay, cool. He's mature. He's got his life together. But then he ends up manipulating every single part of you the whole time, making you think that you're like a child and that you're wrong. And I don't know what it is, but for me, I stay in situations even when I shouldn't. And I know that it's wrong and I will stay.
Even now in your current state of being?
Yeah. I think it's because I want that partnership so bad. And for some guys, I think I convince myself subconsciously that I can fix them. And then for other guys, I think it's me saying that I'm the problem and like I'll work through this, or I will work on me so that we can have a chance. And at some point, it's like, okay, it's not me. Well, it could be, but it's also them, and it's just not going to work. I think dating's hard too because a lot of guys these days don't actually want commitment. It's not the fact that they want to be sleeping with all these girls, but it's like they don't want to have to be tied down to just one person. They don't want to have to think about your emotions and your, like, what you're going through. They just want to think about themselves. And I hate to say selfish, but it is selfish. Like, they just want to be themselves. And I think that's fair, but a lot of guys will come into it. I had one guy initiate everything, and I thought it was going great. And then he's just like, I don't have time for this. Like, I can't prioritize this. And I'm like, well, here I am now with the feelings for you, thinking that there was hope and potential. I never sought you out. You found me. You initiated everything. And now you're running at the thought of commitment. And I have faced that multiple times. And I know friends that have faced it too. And I'm just like, is this so hard? And I know it goes both ways. I know there are girls too that just don't want to commit. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know if it's because of like the way things are these days, where like there's all these dating apps and social media where there's all of these options and people have this idea that the grass is greener on the other side. I don't know what it is, but.
Can I ask you a question about those relationships?
Yeah.
You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Did you sleep with these guys?
Not all of them.
And the ones that you did, how early was it?
One of them was the first time we hung out by ourselves. So the second time I saw him in person. And the other one wasn't until like 4 or 5 dates.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. There wasn't that many guys I dated, so.
No, yeah, I know that. So thanks for answering. You didn't have to, not to put you on the spot, but yeah, there's a couple of reasons why I think dating, is challenging.
Tough
in the modern world. I think one, our society has sort of demonized this idea of commitment and marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So people aren't willing to get into it and commit to the long term because they think, there's so many options. I'll just find something else or something better, quote unquote, when really that's not the case.
I feel like they get bored so easily. And I'm like, relationships aren't going to be fun all the time. Like, you're going to be with your person and have fun with them, but not every day is going to be like the best day. And I think a lot of people, male and female, do not get that anymore.
Well, yes, because our society has become one of instant gratification.
Yeah.
I have to get this now.
Yeah.
And I will not wait. And if I do have to wait, then it's not worth it, and I'm just going to go somewhere else for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a challenge. The level of easy access to pornography and OnlyFans is a huge issue, especially for males.
Yeah.
Because if I am a young man and I know that our society has now sort of over-rotated to the fact where we sort of demonize men for being toxic and having all these traits that have ruined society, and we've been oppressive to everyone all of the time, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
A young boy hears that, then he has easy access to pornography where he can see millions of really attractive women do all sorts of things. Why am I going to leave the house?
Right.
And why am I going to leave the house? Also, I'm not going to become a great man because I don't need to. Because I'm not trying to attract a great woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to be weak and docile and stay in my house and watch pornography. And that's all the social intimacy I need. Of course, that's awful. It ruins people's lives.
Yeah.
So that is an issue. Also, this idea that just promiscuity in general, a lot of females wanting to act like males and basically sleeping with more people to be like men, to
Right.
sleep with more people.
Right.
Now, if you sleep with more people, that means the men that you sleep with have to do less work to sleep with you. So now they're not becoming the man you want them to because it's easy to access everything that they want.
Right.
Not everything they want. And again, it's not the woman's job to make men better. That's not what I'm saying. But there is a point where we've become so adversarial, men and women, that when we try and elevate ourselves, we want the other gender to go down the other way.
Right.
Not let's elevate each other, simultaneously meeting at this peak to create a beautiful, meaningful relationship. Now, every interaction you have or every time you date someone is not going to be the one, but it can still be a positive thing. Like, I learned this and this and this about myself. Oh, so this is what I actually want, even though I thought it might have been this.
Right.
I'm glad I went on that span of dates with that person. And so that's what the sort of the wow.
The gist, maybe?
The challenge.
Okay.
That's 170 podcast episodes, and I still don't know how to talk. So
we love that.
but that's the challenge of sort of modern dating, you know, and then you add social media, and then you add dating apps, and then you add all of these other moving parts, and it becomes incredibly challenging.
Yes.
And
yes.
so,
yes.
but just like anything, if you want something for real, you have to be willing to risk heartbreak.
Yes.
The only way you find love is through heartbreak.
Yes.
And you have to be willing to go out in the long haul. And I think the most important part, which I stated earlier, especially for men, you have to become the person who is attractive to the person that you want in your life.
Right. Yeah.
You have to become that person.
How can you attract what you want?
That is. Yeah. Everyone knows what that is.
Yeah.
If I don't have a job, I live with my parents,
right,
and I eat shitty food, and I have a car that doesn't work, and I have no motivation, and I haven't shaved in 4 weeks, who's attractive to that? Like, you just have to get real. And this is not to be mean to anyone who literally is in that current situation. This is to say that you can flip it around and you can become that version that attracts that teacher, that kindergarten teacher that you find so beautiful.
Yeah.
Or that group fitness instructor, or the engineer at whatever, right? Whatever you're attracted to. Not that this random thing that you see on porn, that's not a person.
Right.
That's a performer.
Right.
That's an actor. She's not like that in real life. I don't know, actually. Never met one. But that's not what we're trying to cultivate real relationships in real life. I think real humans.
Trust and transparency, too. That's something that I've seen make relationships difficult for me and other people, like transparency. If your partner gets upset, like let's say you're feeling insecure about something and you just have a question, not because you think that they're actually doing it, but because something in your past is making you feel that way, and you're like, I just want to talk about this. And if they get defensive and they don't want to be transparent with you, then that just like starts an unhealthy relationship that is going to go downhill. And it's hard to find somebody who's willing to be transparent and willing to have those conversations with you, because I like to say I don't have trust issues, but I think I do because of what happened with my dad.
You do.
And yeah, so I'm not crazy about it, but at some points I will like ask a question, and some guys have gotten very annoyed by these questions, and they're like, well, I don't have to tell you. And I'm like, you're right, you don't, but like, this bothers me. Do you care that it bothers me? Do you want to have that conversation? Or is this you telling me that you don't care about me, and is this going to get worse, kind of a thing? I think it's incredibly sketchy when a guy has an entire page on his phone, like where he hides the dating apps and Snapchat notifications, like when they're hidden, to where like you just scroll to the back of his phone. Not that I would like to say I have never actually looked through a guy's phone, but like I have seen him pull up Snapchat and go to it. And I'm like, why are you hiding all of these things? Why are you hiding them?
Those are actions.
Yeah, but like,
and you have to take those actions.
Why are you dating if you have something hidden like that? Like you shouldn't be dating then, I think.
Well, of course not. But that behavior has probably got him where he wants to get.
That's probably true.
So he's not going to change his behavior until something catastrophic happens.
Well, I seem to only attract those kinds of guys. So let's circle back to what you just said. That means I need to do better about.
Well, that means you need to sort of understand, why you keep falling into the same trap over and over again.
It's a great question because they find me and I'm like, no, I'm not interested.
Yeah, but there's got to be like warning signs and things that you might ignore. I'm not saying you're not doing a good job, but like, if the response is the same on both ways, right? If you're someone who sticks out in a relationship too long because you want to make it work, that's a response from your parents not being able to make their relationship work. And if you
Wow,
are someone who
that's
tries to fix other people, it's this response from your dad or your mom not trying hard enough to make their relationship work. So it's the same thing. It's both from the same thing.
that's crazy.
And
I
so
think you're right.
and so you have an awareness about it because you mentioned it, or else I wouldn't have said anything about it. So you are aware of it, and so when you become aware of it, then you have to figure out why it's happening. Is this something I actively can change or want to change, or am I just doing this because this is my trauma response?
Right.
And then how can I not have that be my response by sort of healing that side?
Yeah.
And then when you get into long-term relationships, say 2, 3, 4 years, then it might come out. But then it's easier to have the conversation about it because now this person you're fully engaged with this person. They know your backstory,
Close
they know
enough.
your history, and so they can be like, "Hey, this might be showing up for this reason. Like, let's
Yeah.
talk about it a little bit more."
Yeah.